My family made me eat a gluten product to test if I was really allergic to it. Now, they are paying for the consequences. I am gluten-free, not by choice, but out of medical necessity. I became allergic about 5 years ago, so it's not new, and I have gotten pretty good at eating out without being completely obnoxious. I know my limits with ingesting gluten. When I went out with friends last month, I ordered a cheeseburger with no bun and substituted the side of fries with steamed veggies to avoid leftover gluten in the fryer. When the plate arrived, it had fries and a bun. I asked the waitress if my plate could be remade because I was allergic to gluten. She gave me attitude, told me potatoes don't have gluten so I could eat fries, and to take the bun off because the kitchen was slammed. I told her I could wait and didn't need to be prioritized, but I just wanted my food remade. When it finally arrived, it came out in a takeout box with all the checks. I wasn't about to make a fuss, and I was planning on going home after that, so I figured I'd eat the takeout at home and say, oh well. But on my check, I was charged for 2 meals, with an upcharge for substitutions on both. I went to the bartender, got 1 meal removed from my bill, and tipped her nicely in cash, but I decided never to eat there again. So last night I had family over, and they wanted to order in, specifically from the same place that got my order wrong last month. I told them that was fine, but I would order from nearby and pick them both up. I thought this was reasonable, but my family looked at me like I had just suggested a lie and go vegan. They told me they thought I was out of my childish phase, and that not eating gluten wouldn't help me drop the extra weight I'd put on. It felt like such a massive overreaction to me, and I don't know why they felt the need to comment on my weight. So I explained that I had a bad experience there with a simple ask, and they doubled down that it's immature to never eat there again, and to inconvenience everyone else just because I don't want some carbs. I dropped it because I was so shocked and just ordered from the restaurant next door. They have the same generic brown takeout boxes, so when I returned and we ate, everyone told me, see, don't you feel silly now? Everything is fine and I needed to stop being a Karen. It's the next day, and I just feel like it was so weird. I wanted to share a funny and lighthearted story, but I'm also slightly wondering if I overreacted by not going there again. Update. One of my friends knew I had a throwaway Reddit account. I saw this post and called the health department to report the restaurant, then left a long and seething review. I even went back and talked to the manager about our specific waitress. She was present and had spoken poorly about the restaurant with me, but knowing all this made her go nuclear. God, I love her. As for the drama, I wrote this post the morning after the original dinner. The dinner was decent, but I was very quiet. So when my sister called me later to ask why I was acting so strange at dinner, I had already been thinking about it. I kind of snapped and said I was quiet because I was hurt by what others said, and nobody defended me, as usual. Meanwhile, my friend fought for me even when she didn't have to. We argued about what was said, whether I was being too sensitive, and even the seriousness of my allergy. I told her I didn't need this, and hung up. My mom texted me later, as did my brother, and again my sister. They all said we should drop it because we're family, and this is silly. I put them all in a group chat and said, yes, it is silly to fight with me over my own medical diagnosis and the food I eat that has nothing to do with them. I didn't need my family to treat me like this when I have friends and other family who don't, and they can talk when they're done being immature. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and finished my workday. Yes, this was all during a workday. My night was relaxing. My husband cooked a delicious gluten-free meal while I explained everything. He was out of town when it happened. Then, like a sitcom with ironic timing, there was a knock on the door. My mom and sister came over to make amends and brought dessert from a gluten-free bakery. There are multiple around us. I didn't question it. I'm sure you're yelling at me to question it. I should have. We sat down to talk, and I grabbed a cupcake. One bite in, I knew by the texture it was not gluten-free. I spit it out and just looked at them, waiting for them to admit it. My sister looked slightly fearful while my mom sat there looking smug. She said, gluten won't delete you, honey. You grabbed that cupcake pretty fast, and that's a bigger concern. I was holding back tears from the feeling of betrayal and ran to my husband, who was giving us space. He already had the keys and gave me my shoes to put on, and we left to go to the ER. He stopped at the door to say, you are never welcome in this house again, and he took me to the ER. I could feel my throat tightening as I sobbed in the passenger seat. I was seen right away at the hospital, and I'm fine now, writing this while waiting to be discharged to process what happened. I feel like I opened my eyes and lost my entire family in under 24 hours, but the two hot takes family sure knew what was up, and my husband and my friends are more than enough for me to feel loved and cared for.